great.
It's great.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How's your protein today?
Excellent, thank you.
Which, it's great. I've got, what do I have today? I have chocolate peanut butter transparent labs. What do you have?
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
You are kind of vanilla.
Takes one to know one.
Oh. All right, well, so today we're gonna talk squatting. The squat is great. If you think about it, you squat a lot. You squat when you sit down, you squat when you go to the bathroom. And squatting is one of the best exercises to build glute and core strength. Contrary to popular belief, the squat is not a leg exercise. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the way back. The squat is not a leg exercise. The squat is actually a core exercise, and we can figure out a lot about somebody's movement, mechanics, and stabilization if we look at their core while they're squatting. So, Leah is a wonderful squatter, and we're gonna break down squat mechanics with Leah. I might pick on her a little bit, because
She will.
Leah's a good squatter, but also not perfect. So, one of the things that you'll see first is that Leah has on squat shoes, or Olympic lifting shoes. There are a lot of different companies that make these: Innovate, Nike, Adidas. I don't know if Penlay is still made. Is Penlay still making lifting shoes? I don't know. Tier or T-by-R, whatever they say. They have some awesome squat shoes that were made in conjunction with Squat University that have a wider toe box. One of these days I will have enough money and I will buy a pair of those for myself. For now, I like to live in my old school Nike Romoleo 2s. With a squat shoe, the backside of the squat shoe is elevated, typically anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and then the front of the shoe is a little flexible. When you elevate the back of the foot, you address any potential ankle range of motion issues that might persist. So I'm gonna show you my awesomely terrible squat because I'm barefoot, and it's not actually that terrible, but I don't have really great ankle mobility, so it's hard for me to get down into the bottom of a squat without, quite frankly, a lot of discomfort. If I had on squat shoes, or if I brought my heels up, now I can squat a whole lot more effectively. So let's see how Leah looks with her squats. Nice, and then come back up. Go ahead and take a turn and face that way, and let's take a look at Leah's squat from the sides. Looks pretty darn good. Can you stay there for a minute? Mm-hmm. So 2 things that you can look for in a squat to determine whether or not you are using good squat mechanics. Number 1, this angle here, the T-spine, and this angle here, the lower leg, need to be parallel to one another. Okay, so that's item number 1. Item number 2 is the infamous dog shit butt wink. And we want to make sure that her pelvis does not tuck up underneath her like that. See, if you have a dog, kind of looks like a dog taking a shit, doesn't it? This is called a butt wink. And then come back up. Okay, so go ahead and do 5 squats for me. Good. Awesome. Okay, so Leah maintains good mechanics through all 5 of those squats. So Leah, when she did her 5 squats, was able to get to an area below, what we call below parallel. So what that means is that the hip crease goes below the bend of the knee. So let's see that. So right there, she's below parallel. Here's the cool thing about squatting when it comes to glute strength. If you squat above parallel, so if you're just doing little squats like this, all you're doing is really burning the hell out of your quads. If you drop below parallel, at that point your glutes have no choice but to help you stand up. That is the only point in time in which the squat is really an effective glute exercise, unless we start talking about different squat variations, which is beyond the scope of this video. So if you have a hard time knowing where that is, one of the things that you can do is grab a med ball. So here we've got a 14-pound med ball. Leah is going to stand in front of the med ball, and she's going to use that med ball as a target so that she has an idea of where that below parallel is for her. She's going to hit that target and stand back up. Awesome. Yeah, do a couple more. Looks good. We're just really warming up that squat. Now, okay, so now let's say, I'm going to take this away. Just roll that over there. So now let's say that Leah can't squat below parallel. So show us what we typically see with our clients that struggle with squatting low. So remember, we said we want to make sure that the thoracic spine and the lower leg are parallel. When Leah's squatting like this, that's not happening. So there's 2 things we can do. One, we can lift up the heels. So if I wanted to, I could put her in lifting shoes, or I could slide maybe some 2.5-pound plates underneath her. Or a bigger issue might be related to core strength. So Leah might not have the stability to be able to give herself support in that position. So we can start to coach her through some of that stability by using a TRX strap. So I'm gonna have you hold on to that TRX strap, and 2 cues when you're trying to teach someone how to squat below parallel, especially, well, we're gonna do 2 cues, one for women, one for men. The first cue for women, belly button's gonna go into your spine, and I want you to lift your vag towards your forehead. Yes, I said it, vag to forehead, okay? From there, she's gonna send her butt back like she's gonna shut a car door, and she's got an arm full of groceries, and then sit down. Look at how beautiful that is. All right, now, belly in nice and tight, vag to forehead, and stand. So just having a little bit of tension on this TRX gives her the stability that she needs in her core to be able to do a good squat. So let's do 5 of those and see how that looks. Good, nice. Is this 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, we forget how to count when we get PhDs, sorry. If you are a male, obviously you don't have the vag to forehead cue to work for you. So a cue that I work for men is belly button into spine, and I know that you know how to do this. Use your pelvic floor muscles to make your penis jump, okay? And you'll know what I'm talking about if you practice it. You're doing it right now, aren't you? Yeah, there you go, just like that. Further, and we're gonna do what's called a box squat. Now, some people are very purist in that they don't want to load up someone's squat if they can't do a good air squat, which is what we were demonstrating earlier. I am not that way. Leah is not that way as practitioners, because sometimes when you give somebody loads, their mechanics actually improve, and that's okay. So we're going to go over a technique for the box squat. So we've got just a regular plyo box. We've got it turned to 20 inches. And I like to use the corner of the box rather than the edge. It just seems a little bit easier for people to get in and out of. Leah's gonna do just the bar. So she's gonna get herself into that back rack position. The bar is in what's called a high bar position. So it's resting up on these nice, beautiful, meaty traps that she's worked really, really hard to develop. She's fully locked her palms around the bar, and then her elbows are aiming in and down towards her hips, and that's going to engage her back to keep this bar nice and steady where it needs to be. She's going to do our 2 cues, so she's going to go belly button to spine, she's going to go vag to forehead, and then she's going to sit her butt back, tap it, and then come back up. So this is really great if you want to start introducing squat with light load for someone who maybe for whatever reason their hips hurt or they just can't find that below parallel position. This is also a great option for women who are pregnant. Sometimes dropping below parallel, especially in the later stages of pregnancy, is really uncomfortable for people. So this is a way for them to continue to strengthen. Now, I'm gonna have Leah do a sit back box squat. Okay, so belly button in tight, vag to forehead. She's gonna sit back and then stand up. With this sit back box squat, there's 2 things at play. 1, she's actually sitting back and resting, so her glutes have to engage. And 2, she's getting a little bit of what we call a co-contraction. A co-contraction is when 2 muscle groups that typically oppose one another contract at the same time, and her core and her back extensors are simultaneously contracting. Awesome. All right, go ahead and rack that.
Ugly ass squats.
That's right, no ugly ass squats in this place. All right, so now that we've gone through all of these things with squat mechanics, Leah is ready to progress to just a good old-fashioned back squat. Back squat, again, can be high bar or low bar. I personally am a high bar girl. I think Leah has transitioned into a bit of a high bar girl. Low bar, I find a little bit more challenging, but mostly because I think I don't have the upper extremity mobility for it very well. So she's still gonna rest that bar on those nice big meaty traps of hers. Belly button in nice and tight, vag to forehead, send that butt back and down to below parallel and stand, okay? And from here, the possibilities really are endless. I'm a huge fan of tempo work, so I'm gonna give Leah a tempo. We're gonna do a 3-2 tempo, and 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So it's a 3-2 tempo, which means 3 on the way down, 2, 3, 1, 2 in the bottom, and then explode up. This is really good to help develop tolerance for time under tension. Leah is an amazing squatter. Thank you so much for being our model. I hope that this was helpful for you. I don't know what else to say. What else do I say?
Stay strong, stay jacked, eat your protein.
Eat your protein. Make sure you get your protein. And remember that lifting makes you feel less murdery.